Barb, good morning. Thank you to you. It is 6:05 right now, and here's where we're going to start a violent night on our streets. 2 people are dead after a late-night shooting in Scarborough.
When officers arrived, they located 2 victims, both suffering from gunshot wounds. Officers immediately began first aid and continued first aid until the arrival of paramedics. Unfortunately, the victims' injuries were too severe, and they're both pronounced deceased on scene. A homicide unit has been notified, and they're attending to take over this investigation.
And the location here, officers called to the area of Danforth Road and Savern Street, which is just north of Eglinton, just before 11 o'clock last night. Police say 2 suspects are in custody, and there's no word if this was a targeted shooting. Now, we're going to bring you back to a live look at the scene right now. As you can see, the area still remains blocked off. Homicide detectives have been called in. It's unclear how long they're going to be staying at the scene. Looks mostly to be in this lot here versus blocking off any major roadways. Right now, not getting any information about any further suspects. They confirm they are not looking for any more, but they are appealing for witnesses. So if you know anything, they ask that you please do come forward. And we're going to take you to another shooting scene now, this one in the West End. Another shooting claiming the life of one person. This happened about an hour later, around 11:30 last night off Clearview Heights near Black Creek and Trethewey. Details are still limited at this time. We don't have a whole lot. We do know one man was pronounced dead at the scene. Police not releasing much more with regards to the victim. Now, we're going to take you live to that scene as well. It looks like just that sole police cruiser at the moment. Police have not released a suspect description in this case, but the homicide squad is now investigating. Oh, it looks like there's a bigger scene, actually, as we pan our cameras here. Again, unclear. Not a lot of information in this case. As soon as we have something for both of these, we'll get you more. And to Oshawa now, shock and heartbreak following the drowning death of a 6-year-old over the weekend. Police called to a house in the area of Ritson and Conlin Roads on Saturday evening where a party was taking place. The young girl was initially reported missing but was located by police in the pool. She was rushed to hospital where she was pronounced dead. So far, no word on any possible charges. This investigation continues. Let's get to COVID-19 now. A surge in second dose bookings on the way. Starting at 8 this morning, Ontarians in Delta hotspots can make an appointment for that second shot. So we're talking about Toronto, Peel, York, Halton, some of the regions identified as a Delta variant hotspot. Those who got their first shot on or before May the 9th are eligible to sign up through the provincial booking system or through your local public health unit. We're also seeing the city's vaccination efforts paying off. So far, over 2.5 million doses of vaccine have been administered in Toronto. An additional 60,000 appointments are being added today. And many AstraZeneca recipients a little bit happier as they're learning those who got their first shot 8 weeks ago can now book that second dose starting today. There was a lot of back and forth and confusion there. Now, the sooner than expected timeline coming as the province shortened dose intervals from 12 to 8 weeks. Residents who received AstraZeneca can get the same vaccine for their second dose or switch to an mRNA vaccine like Pfizer or Moderna. There's a lot to break down here. So coming up just after 7 o'clock, epidemiologist Colin Furness will be joining us to take a look at the vaccination efforts happening right across the province. Meantime, Canada getting over 9 million doses this week, and that's thanks to a massive Moderna shipment. The pharma company will deliver 2.9 million shots in the next few days and another 4.2 million doses by the end of the week. Pfizer also expected to deliver its regular shipment of 2.4 million shots. In total, our country expecting about 9.5 million doses over the next 7 days. The Toronto Islamic Centre will be hosting a condolence drop-off this week as the country continues to mourn the loss of a Muslim family killed in a hate-motivated attack. Starting today until Thursday, guests can walk into the Islamic Centre, which is on Yonge Street, drop off letters, cards, messages of support. On Friday, all the messages will be collected and sent to London. The 20-year-old suspect accused of deliberately running down the family is expected in court today. He is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of attempted murder. Well, it is back to Queen's Park today for MPPs continuing the debate on the notwithstanding clause. Premier Doug Ford and his government calling for the clause to reverse a court decision that puts limits on third-party campaign spending. All right, this debate going through second reading in the legislature on Sunday. The law would double the third-party ad spending period before an election campaign begins. The opposition calling out the government, saying they're using their powers to force their own agenda, while the Conservatives say it is necessary to protect elections from any kind of outside influence. The notwithstanding clause has never been used in Ontario.
Would use it during a pandemic or something.
Well, the 47th G7 summit officially coming to an end in Cornwall, England, with Prime Minister Trudeau pledging to give surplus vaccines to countries in need.
To truly beat COVID-19 anywhere, we have to beat it everywhere. The G7 announced that our collective commitments will result in over 2 billion doses being shared with the rest of the world. Canada's portion is 100 million doses.
Canada will also share 13 million surplus vaccines. Trudeau is adamant that sharing these vaccines will not affect our vaccine effort. While COVID-19 was a major talking point in this year's summit, the leaders also touched on China and climate change. Trudeau will be in Brussels today for meetings on the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. All right, your time is 6:11 this Monday morning, and plans to reopen the Canada-U.S. border sooner than expected could be delayed. But COVID-19 isn't to blame on this one. We'll talk to 680's Mike Eppel right around the corner.